But you guys got another video on the safest way to use Windows 11 in 2026. I'm going to show you a simple yet effective way to take control of your Windows privacy on Windows 11. We're running Windows 11 25H2 here, and a lot of people that are thinking about using Windows 11 are a little bit worried about all of the bloat and all of the privacy concerns that comes with Windows 11, and rightly so. But it's not that difficult to deal with. A lot of people overcomplicate it, and a lot of people end up breaking their system because they go to extreme and start to remove core components from the operating system. I'm going to show you a simple way to be able to claim back your privacy on Windows 11. Now, Windows 11 has loads of telemetry and loads of data harvesting inside, inking and typing, diagnostic and feedback, and loads of other things that need to be addressed before you should actually use Windows 11. Now, if you didn't know, O&O ShutUp10 has been around for a while. This anti-spyware tool for Windows 10 and Windows 11 has just had a major update, and there is tons of added features added to this particular program. It doesn't need to be installed, it's free to use, and it will take care of all of your privacy concerns. So if your privacy is important to you, then using something like this tool is essential, because it makes light work of all of the settings that would generally have to go through one by one and be turned off or editing the registry. This will do it all for you, and it's safe to use because it creates restore points, and it's even reversible, so it's not going to damage your operating system. Of course, it goes without saying, do this at your own risk, do all of your own research, and make sure you understand what you're getting into before running applications like this on the system. It will take care of Copilot, recall, all of the diagnostic data, all of the unnecessary things that you have inside Windows 11 that you can just simply turn off if you know what you're doing. But I'll go through it and show you exactly how this tool works, because it does a pretty good job. So here is the tool right here. It doesn't need to be installed here, so we're just going to double click on it and open it up for the first time. You can say yes to the user account control here, and once we've done this, it will open up the application. Now, inside the application, it's broken down into computer user and also local machine. So you can either do it for the user itself or the machine itself. Works on a traffic light system, green, amber and red, to give you warnings of how severe the changes will be. And also we have these little rocker buttons right here. Now you can do these manually if you wanted to, but there is presets on here which I'll show you, which will take care of everything in one click. So all you need to do right here is use the presets and choose which ones you want to do. So I'll show you these right now so you can see, but there is a long list of actual settings that you would have to manually normally go in and change. So let's go ahead and change these. Now we have 3 buttons up the top, which is current user, which means it's for that user on that computer. If you want to set it up for the whole computer, you can select local machine. And then we have Copilot, which we'll take a look at in a second. This will basically disable the Copilot functionality, and also you can remove Copilot as well. So that is that option right there. And we'll take a look at that in a second. We're going to be dealing with the current user here. Before we do that, let's have a quick look at file. We've got import and export settings. We also got actions, and this will give you the recommended settings, also recommended and somewhat recommended settings, and apply all the settings that this application can do, which is in red. We've got undo changes, go back to factory settings, and create a restore point. It's always advisable to create a restore point before you do any changes on your system, because this will be making changes to the operating system, and you definitely want to create a restore point just in case something goes wrong. Now I'm going to make some changes in a second. Let's just quickly go over to the view tab here, and there's some areas here which you can change for the actual viewing of the application. You can see app view mode, and we're in user system preferences, but you can do dark mode if you want to. I'm going to put that back to the normal mode right here, but you've got eye contrast and stuff like that if you want to change it. And we also have some other settings in here like language if you need to change it to another language. And there's a help section right here for a short guide and so on about the application itself. And you can also view changelog in the web page right there. So let's go to actions and we're going to apply the recommended settings. And it says 150 settings have been successfully changed and set on this computer. So that is the recommended settings, but that might not be enough for you. And you might want to go to the amber settings right here, recommended and somewhat. And there's another 103 settings that have been successfully set on here as well. And that's the setting I normally use if I'm using it on my computer. Next, we got apply all settings, and that added another 11 settings. Now remember, once you go to the red section, there might be some changes to the system that might stop other things working. So bear that in mind. You can see this is disabling sending URLs from apps to the Windows Store. So you might want to check whether these settings are suitable for you. You can undo and reset back to default settings or factory settings by clicking on this and click yes, and it puts it all back to default. Super cool and super easy. So let's go to yellow, recommended and somewhat recommended. Now, if you're using this setting, you might need to change two settings after changing these. And one of them is your microphone and one of them is camera or webcam settings, because they will not work because they will be turned to disable. So make sure if you want to use your microphone on that PC is go to that setting and make sure you toggle it to the off position so it's red. Otherwise it won't work. Otherwise you'll be wondering why your microphone's not working. So right here, disable access to microphone. We don't want to do that because you might want to use it inside Discord or games or whatever it may be. If you're using your camera or webcam, you might want to toggle that off as well. I'm not using a webcam here, but I do use the microphone. So I would leave that like this. And that's it. You're pretty much good to go. All of them settings have now been set. And we have a restore point and we can put them back to factory settings. Now, if Windows Update comes down and changes these settings, you can just run the application quickly by running the recommended and somewhat recommended settings like I showed you. Let's now go back to the Copilot section here, and I'm going to click remove to remove the Copilot. You can see right here it says, are you sure you want to remove Copilot application? Please note that this process can only be reversed by reinstalling the application. I'm okay with that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove Copilot from the PC because I have no use for it on the PC. So that is O&O ShutUp10++, and this works for Windows 10 and Windows 11. Now, before I restart the PC, I can just close this off right here. A little pop-up will pop up here, and I'm going to use O&O App Buster right here. It's on their website. You can download this, and it will remove all of the pre-installed applications. Make sure you select the applications you don't need and uninstall them. It's super easy. Now, of course, there's other ways of going about doing this, but this is another super easy method, and it's on the same website, and you can use both of the applications one after the other. You can see we have a bunch of different settings here that we can check mark, and this will uninstall the applications. Which one should you uninstall? That depends on you and what your requirements are. I've checkmarked a bunch of them right here. Don't copy me. Use your own research and use your own common sense and uninstall the ones you don't need on your PC. So we're doing it for current user right here. I'm going to say yes, and it's going to say yes again to create a restore point, and we're going to uninstall them. And it's going to remove these from the computer. Now, you've noticed that I've removed Notepad, Paint, and all the other built-in apps, and that's because these have Copilot in them, and I just want the legacy versions of these. And you can download these off the internet. It's very simple and easy to do. So now you'll need to restart your PC, and once you get back to the desktop, you should be nice and clean. All of the settings should be done, and you might need to do a few more personal tweaks to your system that you like, for instance, removing task view and the search box and all that sort of stuff if you want to. There might be a few remnants left behind like this one right here, and you can uninstall it. But generally, you can go and do the final adjustments to your operating system, but it is clean and all the privacy settings are done on the system. You don't need to download any scripts or anything like that. This is the safest and easiest way to tweak Windows and make it private, or as private as you can get it. A lot of tools like Chris Titus Text Tool will use this particular config file that has these settings. But if you want to use legacy files, like I said, you can use Notepad like this, which is the legacy Notepad. You got Paint and you got Calculator, and you could just use these instead of using the ones with Copilot in them. And that's why I uninstalled them from the system. Anyway, I hope this video has been some sort of help to you. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Big shout out to my YouTube members, whether you're tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 support. I appreciate it. Have a lovely weekend and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.